Alright folks, what we have here is a game called Trickster, Champions of Time. So what this game is a game about taking tricks, but the interesting part of this is that the trickster part is actually the person left of the person who's playing. So let's explain this a minute. So what we have here is 14 different jobs available, but you only play with 7, so you have the ability to switch in and switch out different jobs. The jobs alter from things like revolutionary to explorer to witness. Now all of these jobs at the bottom of the cards have little special abilities that they can do. Things like moving cards from your tableau to another, changing from people's hands, things like that. So when you play a card, you act out what it does. You switch around a card, whatever the card is doing is making you do, but the trickster part of the game comes a player to the left. So what happens is, if I was to play an orange revolutionary, for instance, the person to my left is the trickster, and they would decide how this round of this hand is going to play. So if I've played orange revolutionary, they've got the option to either play the same color, another orange card, different suit, or different job, or they could play the same job with a different color, or they could play something completely opposite of that. A yellow explorer, for instance. So if I've played an orange revolutionary and they play yellow explorer, then everybody at the table has to play something that has not been played. They couldn't play orange, they couldn't play yellow, they couldn't play revolutionary or explorer, they had to play something else, a blue magician, for instance. So the interest of that is that if the player to your left is actually kind of dictating how the game goes. So if they have a lot of explorers in their hand, for instance, then they would kind of want explorer to be the job, so that the next person would actually get stuck. And the person who gets stuck has to sweep up all the cards and collect them. And collecting cards is collecting points, and points are bad in this game. So if I play the orange revolutionary, the person to my left might have a bunch of orange cards in their hand, and they play the orange explorer, hoping that the people to the left don't have any orange, which they probably won't. The trickster actually has all the orange. So if the next person playing doesn't have any orange, they would sweep all the cards into their tableau, and they might get stuck with all those points. The drawback for the trickster is that if it goes all the way around the table and everybody can play orange, then the trickster gets all the points. So all the points would go into their hand. Now, the point system on this is very interesting, because if you get to the end of that hand, or the end of the round, and a round is when somebody is completely out of cards, I don't have any cards in my hand, the round ends. Then we go to point systems, and you'll have a bunch of little cards in your tableau like so, and they'll be lined up by suit, orange, green, red, purple, things like that. So if you have the most orange at the table, then you take them and throw them out. They're not points for you. So that's kind of like a shoot the moon kind of feel from Hearts. So if you are planning, and you're planning well, you can actually have a bunch of cards in front of you and have them not worth anything. So if I have a bunch of red, and then I have a bunch of green and a bunch of orange, and nobody else does, then I'll be throwing all those out, and they don't cost me. So that's a neat style of play. This game is pretty well built. It's pretty ingenious system, simply because if you feel like you're falling behind, you can shoot the moon, which is what makes Hearts interesting. This game is not terribly difficult to pick up. It's not terribly difficult to learn. You play a couple hands and you're fine. It's for people who don't play games a lot, so that you can pick it up. If people who play spades and hearts and euchre and stuff can easily jump into this game and not have a problem. So because it has those kind of simple rules but good gameplay, it's basically for anybody that's looking to play. You don't have to have your core gaming group. You can take this to parties and people will understand it. So that's a good feature for a game. It's nice to have in the back room for people. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah, I'm a big fan of this game. It's real inexpensive to get. It's good for parties. It's 2 to 7 players. It says it plays in 30 minutes, but I would suspect that if I was with my gaming group, it would probably take a little longer, simply because we're going to be counting cards and paying attention. If I was at a party with a bunch of people drinking, it probably would be a little shorter. So that's Trickster. I hope you enjoy it.